The stage is set in Akron, Ohio, where almost 500 Soapbox Derby competitors have gathered from across the country and from all corners of the globe to suit up, jump in, and race down the biggest stage their sport has to offer. Many have dreamed of piloting a 989-foot winning drive into the record books, a feat accomplished by only 102 since the first event nearly 70 years ago. Those dreamers are the youth underneath the helmets, as well as the family and friends behind them. Today, 3 more young racers will earn a place in their sport's history as winners. The 2003 All-American Soapbox Derby World Championships are next.
When it comes to this type of racing, it doesn't get any bigger than Akron. Think about it. The kids that are competing here, the families, this is their Daytona 500, Indy 500, or the 24 Hours of Le Mans, all rolled into one. This is the race, the ultimate. When you think about the fact there are nearly 500 kids here competing at 4 different levels of competition, you won't believe the stories that are floating around the garage area here today. What these kids and their families have gone through is unbelievable. It's definitely the big one, and we're going to be right here in the middle of it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 66th running of the All-American Soapbox Derby. I'm John Roberts, alongside of General Manager and Historian for the Soapbox Derby, Jeff Iola, and we'll also be joined by Jeff Hammond, who's roaming the pits for us. Now, Jeff, what about this event is so special? What makes it so big?
Well, it's so neat because these kids back home, they build their cars, they put them together, they go race in their local race. If they're lucky enough to win, then they get to come to Akron. If they didn't win, they can race in rallies, and if they get enough points there, then they can also come to Akron to race for the World Championships. This week they started out, they had big welcoming, they had inspection, they had a trial run, they got to do some other events in Akron, and now they're going to get ready to go down in the parade and start the first heat, 432 champions.
All right, there's a lot on the line today, and we're getting oh so close to the racing action. Here you see the parade of racers going through opening ceremonies. We have a lot in store today. We'll have a visit from some Winston Cup stars, and of course, some great racing action. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the 66th running of the All-American Soapbox Derby from Akron, Ohio. Now, when you look at these cars, you got to wonder what makes them run. What goes into making these things go?
I'll tell you, John, they really aren't that difficult to make. They only take about 5 hours, up to about 50 hours to build the master cars. Real simple.
Yeah, well, our Jeff Hammond caught up with a guy who has the answer to all your questions about what goes into putting a car on this track.
John, I'm here with Ed Del Ferraro, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the technical aspects of these race cars because, hey, we got to have somebody as an inspector, and you just happen to be the head man.
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us a little bit the differences between the different classes and what we're kind of like looking at here today?
Okay, we have 3 classes of car, and basically we use the stock division as a starter division. And what we have here, they can weigh up to 200 pounds, and we try to keep the field as fair as possible. They must be assembled bolt for bolt, washer for washer, and no difference. They're not allowed to paint the car. They can only use stickers, and that's to allow us to make sure that there's no alteration of the shell, so we can inspect it as fair as possible. The next division that's about as close as you can get is the super stock division, and what that gives you is an additional 30 pounds, and you're allowed to make a little bit of different changes in how you use your washers, your plates, so you have a little bit to play with to maybe get a better feel of what racing's about. All this kind of leads together to hopefully lead a driver into getting into the Masters division. Unlike the 2 other cars, they can probably be built in about 4 to 6 hours. The Masters division, you're going to add a lot more time to the car. You can invest as much as 4 weeks and as much as 4 months into the car, depending on what you want to get into. The super stock can be painted, and that, like I said, it's all a lead up into what you can do into this division. We'd like to drive people into the division. Hopefully we'll get it to grow. Some people shy away from it because of the complexity. We're working on a lot of ways to make it simpler so that we can draw people into it, because it is a lot of innovation that you can put into a car.
And Ed should know because his daughter is the only two-time champion. Let's take a look at some of the rules common to all divisions, ages 8 through 17 stock and super stock 10 through 17 masters. There's 3 divisions, stock, super stock, and masters. You must drive only the racer you build. Entrant must participate in the construction of his or her car. You may enter only 1 car per year in only 1 official division, and the car whose nose is over the finish line first, according to the decision of the judges, is the winner.
You know, John, we have quite a thorough inspection. It takes about 1 hour per each car to check out, make sure everything is legal on it, the length, the weight, the height, the topside, everything on it. And those cars go about 30 miles an hour.
All right, it's just like any other part of racing, any other type of racing, where you have to have that inspection first to make sure the playing level is equal. The playing field, rather, is level. All right, we're already underway here in Akron. Let's take a look at some of the action from the first 2 rounds of competition, starting out with the All-American Stock second round, heat number 267, with Kelly North, Aaron Vibert, and Megan Taylor of South Charleston, West Virginia.
Well, the cars look pretty close in this heat. They're coming right down there. By the way, Megan Taylor was our 1999 Rally World Champion, and she was also only 8 years old, the youngest champion we've ever had.
All right, she was edged by Aaron Vibert in that one. Heat number 268 had Johanna Kubler of Youngstown, Ohio, Nicholas Traylor, and Michaela Forward.
You know, Nicholas Traylor, his dad was 9th place back in 1979 in the All-American, and Michaela Forward from Valley City, North Dakota. It's the first time North Dakota's ever done that well, and they got right in there, and she just won that heat.
Let's move on now to the Superstock second round. Heat number 161, Jillian Eskew from Akron Metro, Ohio, Patrick Reinhardt from Salem, Oregon, and Coco Knudsen from Haley, Idaho.
You know, John, in that heat, you had 2 kids in the last 2 years that placed 4th in the All-American. Jillian was 4th in 2001, and then Patrick was 4th in 2002, both in the Masters. Now they've jumped back to the Superstock. This is Coco's first time in the race, and it looks pretty close.
All right, pretty close, but Patrick Reinhardt was the one who took that one away and won that heat on to heat 166. Alex Keall from New Zealand, and Ashley McKenna from Akron, Ohio, and Thomas Moyer from Columbia Midland, South Carolina.
You know, this is the first time New Zealand's been back in the race in 20 years. They raced back in 1983. It was the only year they ever did, and they already won a heat. That's pretty good. And, of course, Akron, they're always winning a couple heats here. And the champion, Thomas Moyer from Columbia Midlands, he's the one that won that heat. What a close one.
All right, the Masters second round. Heat number 19 featured Nathan Washburn from Bristol, Connecticut, and Jason Garber from York, Pennsylvania.
You know, Nathan's dad, Stevie Washburn, was our 40th world champion from Bristol, Connecticut, back in 1977.
And Jason Garber went on to win that heat number 19 in the Masters second round. Here's heat number 24, Jenny Rodway from Youngstown, Ohio, and Sarah Bowen from South Charleston, West Virginia.
Here's 2 really fast cars that have been racing real fast all summer. And they did really great, and it was a real close one, but Sarah Bowen did win out over Jenny.
Well, there's a lot more racing coming your way at the 66 All-American Soapbox Derby. Stick around, everybody.
The winner in lane number 3.
Welcome back to Derby Downs in Akron, Ohio. John Roberts, Jeff Iula, and Jeff Hammond here, bringing you all the action of the 66 All-American Soapbox Derby. Now, our Jeff Hammond always knows where to find the best seat in the house, and he found it up in the air.
Hey, John, look up here, buddy. I know I shouldn't have done this, but I kind of snuck out. I'm going to take me a little ride here in the Goodyear blimp. You know, when you come to Akron, home of Goodyear, how can you pass up an opportunity to take a ride in the Goodyear blimp? This is a really exciting little part of our trip today. We're high above right now. Beautiful day here. See all of Akron, see the race crowd. I mean, they've got a great crowd down there. They've got a lot of celebrities here. But to me, getting an opportunity to take a blimp ride, it's a once-of-a-lifetime. Just like for these kids coming here and running this race, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them. I'm really enjoying it.
All right, well, Jeff Hammond gets to have all the fun, doesn't he? Let's go to some racing action right here with the Rally Stock semifinals and heat number 718. It's Kobe Garnhart from Winnebago, Illinois, Candace Smith from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and Jacob Machachos from Rochester, New Hampshire.
You know, Jacob's mother was the pretty Carol Ann Sullivan that won the All-American in 1982. And he's trying to outdo his mother and be a champion today just like she did.
Your middle car is getting a little over in the other lane, Jeff.
He sure is. I don't know what's... Oh, it was close, though.
Very close right there, but in the end, it was Kobe Garnhart from Winnebago, Illinois that won that section right there. Let's go back up to Jeff Hammond.
just noticing right there that this is a pretty good sized blimp and that's full of a lot of hot air. How in the world do you get this thing blown up?
Daryl Waltrip.
DW did this?
Yes.
Hey, I knew he was full of a lot of hot air, but I didn't realize it was this much. But Daryl, hey, I appreciate the ride, man.
Jeff Hammond with more hard-hitting information there for us. Let's move on to the Rally Superstock semifinals, Heat 618. It's Aaron Leventine from Monroe, Wisconsin, Zach Bull from Stowe, Ohio, and Aubrey Benner from Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
You know, the two of them, Zach Bull and Aubrey Benner, are both 17 years old. And last year, Zach was 8th in the All-American, the Superstock. Looks pretty close. They're all following the line pretty well. Zach's a little bit to the left. The other two are right down the middle of the lane. What a close one.
All right, most of the heats we've seen today have been close. Zach Bull takes that one. On to the Rally Masters semifinals, Heat 515. And here we're looking at 3 competitors, all from Ohio. It's Garrett Brown from Atwater, Andrew Heights, and Alexis Rhodes.
You know, Alexis, this is her 4th time to the All-American, and she's been doing a little better each year, and this year she looks like she's doing real well. Garrett Brown, he's been here a couple times, so is Andrew.
Now, Jeff, as they passed the camera right there, it looked like everybody was about neck and neck going down the track.
They sure do. It looks like right now lanes 2 and 3 are pulling out just a little bit. I think it looks close. It looks like lane number 3.
And it's Alexis Rhodes. Let's go back now to Jeff Hammond, who has a word about wheels.
John, just like it is in Winston Cup racing, you know that somebody has to take care of the tires and wheels. And this time, Bruce Sutphin, along with the Remington Plastics right now, they've been responsible for making the wheels that are being run here at the Derby this year. And got you a black wheel with Goodyear on it. Looks really good, Bruce.
Thank you. There were a little problem with the decals, putting them on, but other than running black, you know, we've been running white for years and years and years, and Goodyear wanted to do something different to make them look a little bit more like NASCAR. Now that NASCAR is involved in the whole deal. And so it's no real problem for us to make them any color. I've sampled them in red, white, and blue also for them.
Well, once you were telling me a minute ago that these wheels are custom made, you make every one of them to try to make sure that they're exactly the same, and that at the end of a run, before a car goes back at the top of the hill again to make another run, they actually will swap 2 wheels per car.
I believe that's what they do. They do change 2 wheels on each car, so they don't have the same set for each race in case they've got a set that's a little better than the others. So they try to make it as fair as they possibly can.
And what I understand now, your company has been doing this now for the last 5 years, but you've been involved with this mold for quite a while.
Yeah, I actually, when I was a journeyman toolmaker 22 years ago, I built this mold. And what it is, it's a one cavity which makes 1/2 of the wheel at a time. And then we put them together, we mold the treads go in, we press the bearings in, and then we screw them all together.
So you want to go fast, you've got to have a set of these wheels, and for all the competitors this week, they're all the same.
All right, Jeff, thanks a lot. You got that exactly right. Time now for some All-American Stock semifinals. Heat number 269. We have Nicholas Savetto, Kathleen Quinn, and Sean Atkins.
You know, Nicholas, he's a first-timer here, and Kathleen Quinn, her dad was in the 67 All-American. And Sean Atkins, he races in the 2nd largest race in the country, Waynesboro, Virginia.
Well, Nicholas is from Pennsylvania. Kathleen is from Ohio. Maybe a little hometown advantage there somewhat. And once again, Jeff, it seems like every time we come by this camera right here, everybody's about neck and neck.
Yeah, they're all pretty close. The lanes are very equal. They tried equalizing them out on Thursday, and it really looks good. And even here, you can tell maybe lane 1's got a little bit of advantage, and there he goes.
By about a 1/2 car length. In the end, it's Nicholas Savetto. Now more racing with heat number 270. And here we have Pennsylvania represented twice, and Florida. It's Daniel Vogel from Souderton, Pennsylvania, Robbie Harding and Holly Thompson from Erie, Pennsylvania.
You know, Jensen Beach and Erie, they've both been in the top 9 a couple times and all, but Souderton, PA, they've never been in, and now they're going for the World Championship. Looks pretty close, about a third of the way down.
Everybody here taking about the middle of their lane.
Yep, they sure are. They aren't veering from one side at all. They're all just kind of staying in the middle. Now lane number 2 is getting a little bit over towards the white.
That's just a matter of finding out where your car goes faster, right?
Right. You just watch how the rain goes.
Boy, neck and neck, about as close as it can be, but it's Robbie Harding from Jensen Beach, Florida, who takes heat number 270. Now on to heat 271. Here we have some Tennessee, North Dakota, and Michigan, all represented here. It's Aaron Vibert from Athens, Tennessee, Michaela Forward from Valley City, North Dakota, and Adam Krozaleski from Saginaw, Michigan.
You know, Athens, Tennessee just placed a couple years ago, the first time they ever had. In Valley City, North Dakota, it's the first time North Dakota's ever been in the top 9. They're really excited by it. Saginaw, they had the world champion back in 1991. Good old Paul Greenwald.
As close as they can be at the middle part of the run. Couple of guys moving left and right, trying to get a little bit more speed out. Once again, very close. A photo finish, actually. It's Adam Krozaleski by a nose at the end as he takes heat number 271 in the All-American Stock semifinals. There's Tony Stewart, signed a couple autographs here. More from him and more from some other NASCAR stars coming up. Welcome back, everyone, to Akron, Ohio, and the 66th running of the All-American Soapbox Derby. This is a family affair, and earlier, Aller Jeff Hammond caught up with one young lady who knows racing fashion.
John, you won't believe this, and you always hear a lot about drivers' uniforms and how they got to look stylish and everything like that. Looky here at Jessica McDonald from Racine, Wisconsin. How about this for a driver's uniform? I think old DW would look good in a pair of those, don't you? Those lips right there, but she's thinking about victory right now and that victory kiss down in Victory Lane. If you can imagine that right there. Now, Jessica, you've been racing for quite a while, right?
6 years.
But this is your first year in the Masters division?
Yes. Last year I was in a super stock.
So how's your chances here today? You think you got a pretty good shot at them?
I hope so, but very slim.
You think experience, so, will help you out, though? I mean, because you have been here at Akron before, so, you know, there's a lot of pressure that goes on to racing here.
I believe most of it's the driving, so if I can drive well, hopefully it'll turn out pretty good.
Do you have a driving coach? I know a lot of the kids come here and they have coaches that kind of give them ideas of what they need to do as far as steering their car down the track. Is that the case with you?
It's my dad. He keeps saying, like, go left or go right or straight down the track. And he tells me which way because sometimes the hill curves. So he tells me to go veer left or right, depending on which way the track goes.
So it goes to show you right now, track knowledge is just as important here at Akron as it is any place else, any kind of racers race, but I still say I love the uniform. John, maybe you'd look good in a pair of those.
Jeff, I don't think so. You won't see me in some anytime soon. If you look around this competition, there are a lot of young ladies competing. In fact, 45% of the competitors are females this year, and it's something they like to call girl power.
You're off and running.
It's not that much of a difference. Everyone gets treated the same.
They're just as good as guys are at racing.
There's just more girls because they see their brothers doing it, and it's really not just a boys' sport.
I love to race.
I think there should be more girls.
Once you get in the car, she wants to go.
I think it's pretty much fair, but I think a girl needs to win world champion this year, so their picture could be up there.
Girls are going down.
Once they get in that car, they're the same.
Yeah, I'm not scared. When we were back at our local race, this boy was like, I can't lose to a girl, and I beat him, so.
Watch out, guys. You got competition next to you.
You know, JR, girls have been racing since 1971. In fact, we've had 19 of them become world champions, including a two-time winner, Danielle Del Ferraro.
Well, as long as we're on the subject of girl power, let's take you to one semifinal heat that had all girls competing. It's the Superstock Semis heat number 167. Stephanie Roos from Washington, D.C., and Shannon DeFusco from Pennsylvania in lane number 2, and then Stephanie Morford from Omaha, Nebraska. These are three young ladies, Jeff, that know how to get it done.
They are. They're all three girls. They all start with S. What a close race.
All right, here the girls go down the hill, and once again, neck and neck to begin with.
Sure are. They're all driving right down the middle of the lane. None of them are cutting over from one side to the other. Looks pretty close to the halfway. Wow, looks like a little bit lane number 2.
Lane number 1 falling back just a little bit right there, but lane number 2 sticking her nose out.
She sure is. It looks like Shannon from Conshohocken might be the winner here. There they go to the finish, and it
right
is.
Across the finish line, it's Shannon DeFusco from Pennsylvania in lane number 2 that takes the win with a time of 28.88 seconds. More Superstock semifinals. Heat number 168 has Patrick Reinhardt from Salem, Oregon, William Pittman from Long Island, New York, and Benjamin Riddle from Kansas City, Missouri. Jeff, we got a good differentiating differentiation rather, in the country represented there.
We sure do. You know, Salem and Kansas City's been two of the fastest cities the last 10 years. They both won the World Championship and placed quite a few times. Long Island, they have not been in the top 9 since 1938.
About as close as they can be at the midway part of the racetrack, and here they come down to the final stretch.
Looks like lane number 1's getting awful close to the guardrail there, Patrick Reinhardt. Whoa, that was close.
Outside lane number 3, it's Benjamin Riddle from Kansas City, Missouri, who goes on to take heat number 168 with a time of 28.99 seconds. On to heat number 169, and here once again a good diverse part of the country is represented. Time for a quick picture before we go down the hill. And again, it's heat 169. Corey Harkins from Chicago, Illinois. Thomas Moyer from Columbia Midland, South Carolina. And Kayla Wright from Houston, Texas.
You know, all 3 of these cities are kind of new into the top 9 Derby circles. Chicago's made it a couple times. Columbia's never been in there, and Houston, I think, has been in once. So it's real close. A bright red and a green and a silver car coming down. It looks like the red car in lane 1, Corey Harkins, is already ahead by almost a car length here.
Red goes faster on this one, and here we go. Corey Harkins takes the win from Chicago, Illinois, as he wins heat number 169. Jeff Hammond found one very special story about a father and daughter who got their car ready under some adverse conditions.
Well, if you can believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of stories go on here in the pits, just like in a NASCAR racing. With Lulu Gilson, it's no different. Her father, James Thumper Gilson, had a very unique experience getting her here for the Derby, didn't he, Lulu?
Yes. He had back surgery the day after Christmas, and I said, Dad, I don't want to race. My friends aren't doing it. Your back hurts. Let's skip it this year. I'll help out, and you can help. Do whatever you can. And then he's like, no, you're going to do it. And I said, yeah, I really do want to. So then we built the car every 20 or 30 minutes every night. We worked on it, and then when he got out to the garage, we just finished it up real quick, and we tried to get it as good as we could.
Well, Lulu, I found out also, once you got here, inspection, just like you do for any type of races, it didn't go quite as smoothly as you thought, so you had to do a little bit of work on the car even when you got here.
Yes, they said that we had buffed our axles, which we had not done that, but they were too shiny and that we had lowered the dimensions by 10,000ths of a centimeter. So we had to put in new axles, and so we got it done in about an hour, and my mom came in and helped us, and I didn't even think I knew the car as well as I did, and I just took everything apart like we needed to, got everything together, and we got it done in about an hour. It was fast, but it was good.
Well, she was telling me a little earlier, it doesn't make any difference to her father whether she wins or loses. Just the fact that they're here and they're trying, and she's doing a great job so far, folks.
Jeff, what a nice story, and a great paint job on the car, too.
All right, when we come back, it's Tony Stewart, some other NASCAR guys, plus much more racing to come. Racing wasn't the only thing taking place the week of the All-American Soapbox Derby. There were several fun-filled outings during the days leading up to race day. Among them, a night out at the ballpark to see the Akron Arrows in action, and a day at Six Flags Amusement Park where this year's racers got a ride or two of a different type.
It was awesome! It was awesome!
Welcome back, everybody. John Roberts along with Jeff Iula and Jeff Hammond here in Akron, Ohio at the All-American Soapbox Derby. There are 20,000 fans here, and among them, the 2002 Winston Cup champion, Tony Stewart. And earlier, he spoke with our Jeff Hammond.
Well, we've caught up with last year's champion, Tony Stewart. And Tony, I know you've just been here just for a little while so far, but pretty impressive as far as these race cars, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous standing up here by the starting line. These kids are all having a good time. I'm more nervous than they are, and I'm not even driving anything up here today. But it's pretty impressive to see how much work really goes into these cars. It's something that looks like it's a neat program. I've never ever been a part of it, but kind of wish that when I was a little younger, I would have done something like this.
Well, I'm not too sure that these kids would necessarily agree because, again, as many times you've won and everything else you've gone into, I wouldn't be surprised that if you'd have been around and driving these kind of cars, you probably would have won in them.
I don't know. They're pretty neat. It's, looking at how close they are and how tight they are inside these cars, I'm not sure with my claustrophobia I could do it, but it's really, really neat and so much fun to watch these kids having a good time with each other up here. It reminds me of, the days when I used to run around with my buddies racing go-karts with each other.
I think probably the neatest thing about it, too, Tony, I think we got to kind of like pop your sponsor, Home Depot, jumping in this year and being a big supporter of the Soapbox Derby. And I know they got a couple of the kids that qualified with some of the cars that they were able to donate, the kit cars, and that's got to mean a lot to you because a lot of these kids really look up to you. I talked to them earlier, and they're all, they're you're their hero, and having you here today has got to be a big inspiration for all of them.
Yeah, it makes me really proud of Home Depot's involvement here, to give out all the kits that they gave out and, get kids involved in soapbox racing. It's neat. I mean, it's neat to see everything that Home Depot does, not only from, the Kaboom program, building playgrounds, but now they're getting kids involved in racing. So, I'm really excited about that and really proud of them. And they never cease to amaze me. I mean, every time I think they've done everything that they're ever going to do through sponsorships, they always do something even more that makes me even more proud to be associated with them. So, pretty excited to be here representing them today.
Well, if you've ever wondered what a run is like, we asked some of the racers.
It feels like a roller coaster.
I can't remember anything that's going through my mind.
You just gotta drive straight.
It seems quicker than it really is when you're racing. It seems like it's only 10 seconds.
You gotta be fast.
It's pretty nervous.
Sometimes you do get a little nervous, but you get kind of used to it. When I first started racing, I got really nervous and but I got used to it now.
It's fun. You need like goggles because when you're going down, you're going so fast, tears are like dripping out of your eyes, and if you don't have goggles, then it's like pretty hard to see. You don't know if you're gonna crash, and you don't know if you're gonna win or lose. So it's sort of like playing a regular game. It's a competition, and I'm just here to win.
If you make one mistake, you're basically done.
Well, folks, stick around. There's a lot more to come as we take a look at Ducky Downs. We got the NASCAR Celebrity Race and, of course, more racing action. Nearly 70 years of racing tradition rest in the All-American Soapbox Derby Hall of Fame. In times of war, in times of national crisis, one thing remained a constant: the annual running of the All-American Soapbox Derby.
John, I've caught up with one of the guys who's kind of helped make this event happen, has been involved with it for a long time, big-time supporter, Bob Troyer. Bob, this year they're going to induct you in the Hall of Fame, but you're also part of the Board of Trustees. I mean, what does the Derby really mean to you, and what does it mean for this community?
Well, the Derby means to me personally the opportunity to work with a great group of people. I've been involved since 1967. I've seen the highs, the lows, and fortunately more highs than lows. But the people are the constant. The people are great. Every year, the reason we keep coming back here, of course, is for the children. The times may change, but the children never change. I've been doing this for 35 years, and they're still great kids, and it's the reason we're out here today.
Well, one of the things I was noticing when I was up in the pit area earlier today, all the kids are acting like kids. They're having a big time up there, but as they start down the hill, the way their faces change, how serious they get, and they get very, very, very competitive. Everybody does.
They do. It's a great sport for them, and it is one of the things they learn here is how to compete, and how to compete with good sportsmanship is what we're trying to teach them. Not only how to put the car together, how to stick to the project and get it done, but how to compete, how to win effectively, and how to lose effectively. That's why they're here.
Well, John, all I can say about that right there is maybe we need to get some of our NASCAR guys and bring them down here because, a little sportsmanship would go a long way in NASCAR right now.
Well, those are some pretty neat-looking vehicles right there. It's been 50 years since Fred Moeller's big win in the Soapbox Derby, and earlier he spoke with our Jeff Hammond.
Well, John, as you can hear in the background there, still a lot of noise from the crowd. The race is still going on. We caught up with a gentleman right here who won 50 years ago. This is Fred Moeller, right here, 1953?
1953, I won the National here at Akron.
He was telling me just a minute ago, you've been back here 45 times since the last time you won or whatever.
Yes, this is my 45th time counting this year.
Must kind of like love the sport.
I do. I really do. In fact, it's helped me out over my lifetime.
One thing I kind of found interesting also was that they had kind of like a reunion or old-timers race here, if you want to call it that. All the guys you competed against, back in that at 1953, and I heard tell that you won again.
Yes, I did. I came in first, and each one placed the way they did 50 years ago.
That's pretty incredible. Was it kind of good to see the guys once again?
Oh, yes, because they're two brothers, and I hadn't seen them like 48 years. And I met them when they arrived at the airport, when they was checking in. So I spent the last 2 days with them, showing Akron and so forth.
All right, Jeff and Fred, thanks a lot. Jeff, that's a pretty interesting story right there.
Yeah, it sure was. You know, the Derby's rich in history and tradition and everything, and it started way back in Dayton in 1933, 70 years ago. And in 34, the very first world champion was also from Muncie, Indiana, just like Fred. His name was Bob Turner. And we've had champions ever since then. It's just got more exciting. We've had a lot of famous celebrities. Two guys went on and really became well-known. One was Ronald Reagan, and the other was Richard Nixon. And there's a young Fred Moeller with his mom and dad, Ernie and Margaret Moeller, right there in the winner's circle.
Proud moment there. Stick around, everybody. Still to come, Masters semifinals and also the NASCAR celebrity race. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. There's the Wisconsin gang cheering on their favorite drivers. We have 3 more heats of the All-American Masters semifinals, and then we move on to the finals. But first, we've caught up with some of the NASCAR guys as they get ready.
The man who's no stranger to close finishes is Ricky Craven. Ricky, you're here at the Soapbox Derby. Have a lot of close finishes here.
Oh, you're right. This is incredible. I remember last year coming here for the first time. The finishes were incredible. Every one of the races were exciting. And you see the same enthusiasm, determination, excitement in these youngsters as you do in a Winston Cup race every Sunday. It's really a treat for people to come here.
Well, in a few minutes, I think we'll get an opportunity to see you and I think Joe Nemechek as well as Tony Stewart go down the hill. So can we expect victory?
You can expect, well, there's always the potential for controversy, you know, the 3 of us here and all of us not wanting to lose, but it's just fun to be here. I mean, again, it's a special place, and glad that Tony was able to make it and Joe, and have some fun.
All right, as the racing action continues on the track, Jeff Hammond caught up with Joe Nemechek and his co-pilot.
Well, we caught up with another NASCAR star, Joe Nemechek, and an up-and-coming, I think, NASCAR star, and John Hunter. I mean, it's just great to have you guys here.
Hey, it's great to be here. I remember doing this as a kid. I never came here, but where I first grew up in Lakeland, Florida, we had a big hill there, and we weren't quite as streamlined as they are now. But this is really neat. It's a family affair. All these kids here, it's just incredible.
Well, John Hunter, what about it, my friend? Are you going to be able to drive one of these little soapbox derbies one of these days?
Probably.
Probably. But today, I think you're going to ride with Daddy here in a few minutes in a challenge race. Is that going to be pretty cool?
Yes.
They tell them we hope we beat Tony Stewart, don't we?
Well, as you can see right now, John, they got to get John Hunter fitted up with a helmet, but he's all ready to go down the hill here at Akron, and it's going to be another one of those family affairs. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we keep using that term a lot, but don't lose it, because fun is what it's all about.
All right, Jeff Hammond, you got that exactly right. Fun is what this is all about. And this right here is the Masters semifinals. As we see heat number 28, Jason Garber from York, Pennsylvania, Lee Harris from Northeast Ohio, and Caitlin Hedges, also from Ohio, from Lancaster.
It's a pretty close race, you know. Lee Harris's car is what we call an optional Scotty. Much easier to build than the other two. She's hanging right there with them. It's fairly close. Looks like Caitlin's a little bit ahead in lane number 3.
Lane number 3 takes it, moves away. It's Caitlin Hedges in the 24 car, heat 28, goes to the Lancaster, Ohio driver with a time of 28.66 seconds. Let's move on now to heat number 29, Jason Niewoit from Detroit, Michigan, and Anthony Marulli from Rochester, New York, Sarah Bowen from South Charleston, West Virginia, all vying for a shot and moving on to the next round.
Sure. Jason's uncle got 9th in 81, and Anthony Marulli, his car 35s, won the All-American 3 times. Uh-oh, we got a little problem in lane 1.
Whoa.
Lane 1 just kissed the guardrail, but he kept going. Jason did. I'm afraid that's going to really hurt him as they're getting down in this stretch. Looks pretty close between lane 2 and 3. I think lane 2's coming out a little bit. Sarah Bowen's giving him a heck of a shot from South Charleston.
All right, as we heard earlier in the show today, there is no room for a mistake. One will get it for you. Lane 2 takes this one. It's Anthony Marulli from Rochester, New York. On to heat number 30, Chris Paulson from Kodiak, Alaska, Kyle Raber from Wayne Holmes, Ohio, and James Kimball from Rockford, Illinois, going to battle it out to transfer up for the last spot.
You know, it's really neat that Kodiak's in the race. They've been in the All-American about 3 years now. It's the first time they've ever placed. They're going for the top 9. That's great. James Kimball won the NDR championships last year, and Kyle Raber, this is his 2nd time to Akron.
All right, take a look at this group right here. Almost wheel to wheel as they come down towards the end of the track. Hard to tell who's going to get this one.
Looks real close, but I think it could be lane 3.
Lane 3, James Kimball from Rockford, Illinois, 28.62 seconds as he takes heat number 30. from the 3rd lane position. Now it's time to have a little fun. It's time for celebrity racing. And you know, everybody in this crowd, if it's a little shaded, it's going towards that guy in lane number 3. That's Tony Stewart, Joe Nemechek, and Hunter in the middle, and Ricky Craven, no stranger to close NASCAR finishes, in lane number 1.
Looks like lane number 2's kind of hanging behind. I think with that co-pilot's probably slowed him down a little bit.
And there is no stopping Tony Stewart. Looks like other racing series we've seen him run.
Sure does. The Home Depot man is way out ahead in this race. Ricky Craven's driving a little erratic, but he did get second.
And it's Tony Stewart by almost 2.5 car lengths, and that's about as much as we see Tony usually win the NASCAR Winston Cup races.
Oh, Ricky just decided to try to bump into him, I guess, at the bottom.
He was aiming at you.
As long as we're making it look like NASCAR races, let's go all the way. All right, Jeff Hammond caught up with Tony Stewart.
Well, Tony, it looks like I said earlier, it doesn't seem to matter right now whether it's Soapbox Derby cars or Winston Cup cars or dirt cars. So you're able to pull off a victory here today. How was that?
That might be a bigger win than the Daytona 500. I don't know. That was pretty cool. That's I'm telling you, for an 8-year-old kid, that's a pretty intense ride down there. I mean, it's going pretty quick down there at the end of at the bottom of the hill there. So that's a pretty neat experience. That's a chance of a lifetime for us now.
Now, you were talking to me earlier about the way the car drove and things like that. How do you do it? Well, how did that feel coming down through there? Did you find yourself trying to drive it, or did you let the car have its head?
Well, I was listening to my coaches up there. They said they kept preaching butt back. So they said get my butt down and get my butt as far back as I could get it in the car. So I couldn't even reach the brake pedal till I got through the box there. But just tried to do everything they told me, and they said just kind of let it kind of hunt and find its way, kind of like what we do at Daytona for qualifying. In all reality, you kind of let the car go where it wants to go. He said just make sure you stay in your lane. So I tried to steer it the least amount as possible, like he said. But I'm telling you, for young kids like this, I mean, to concentrate that hard and try to make such little adjustments as what they have to make in 980 feet of track, that's a pretty intense ride.
Well, Tony Stewart made it look easy as usual, but I'm glad he was doing it instead of me. John?
Well, despite one post-race incident of bump drafting, everybody had fun at the celebrity race, and when we come back, the moment of truth, the champions will be crowned. Welcome back, everybody. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the crowning of the 2003 Soapbox Derby champions. And Jeff Iola, you were once one of those competitors out there. Tell us a little bit about what goes through a kid's mind before he goes to make that championship run.
Well, you know, that was a few years ago, John, 1966 to be exact. But I'll tell you, it's the most exciting 29 seconds in their lives going down that hill for the final heat.
Well, let's take a look at what states the winners have come from over the years. You'll see one state in particular kind of dominates. It's 5 from Oregon, 8 from New York, 11 from California. Indiana has 15 champions, but Ohio, a little home state advantage, they have 22. So now it's time to actually crown some championships. We begin with the All-American Stock Finals between Nicholas Sabeto from Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Robbie Harding from Jensen Beach, Florida, and Adam Krozaleski from Saginaw, Michigan. And I can imagine, Jeff, there is all kinds of butterflies flying around these kids' stomachs.
Sure is. You know, if you notice, all 3 of them are boys, 2 white cars and a blue one in the middle. They're all 3 rookies. And in fact, Nicholas, it's the second time he's ever raced in any race before.
All right, down the track they go. Lane 2 fading back just a little bit. It looks like the advantage is going to the first lane, and Nicholas Sabeto from Pennsylvania. Let's see if he can hold on. He makes it to take the checkered flag. Champion of the stock finals, Nicholas Sabeto from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. On to the super stock finals. It's Benjamin Riddle from Kansas City, Missouri, Corey Harkins from Chicago, Illinois, and Shannon Fusco from Conshohocken, Pennsylvania.
It looks pretty close from the third of the way down. It looks like maybe lane number 1's catching a little bit. It's hard to say. It's pretty close. Lane 2 is going over towards the side. Lane 3 right down the middle. From here, it looks like they're getting down towards the finish line. It looks like it will be Corey Hawkins from Chicago, Illinois. The first time Illinois has ever won the All-American.
Jeff Hammond is with our champion.
This is Nick Sabeto and his mom. And congratulations, young man.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been absolutely amazing for us. So many friends, everybody's just so behind you here. It's been amazing, huh, babe?
Yeah. Felt great.
The one thing I kind of noticed when you came up, the first thing you want to know was who won? Who won? So it was a pretty close race, huh?
Yeah, it was real close because I thought lane 2 won by the end stretch, but then they said I won, so I was real excited.
Let's go to Jeff Hammond with the Masters Rally winner.
Chalk one up for the ladies here right now. Alexis Rhodes right now just won the Masters. And I mean, again, hugs and kisses, a lot of high fives right now, a lot of energy there, and a beautiful smile from a beautiful girl. How good is it?
Great. Oh, I've never felt so happy. God.
As you can see right now, I think she's pretty speechless right now. But, hey, again, talk about it. I mean, just let it go. We all want to hear about how excited you really are.
That I was in the front the entire time. I'm like, I got it. I could see only their wheels. And it's like, I know I'm ahead, even if it was a photo finish.
All right, there's one excited champion right there. Let's take a look at the rest of the Rally Finals. It's Kobe Garnhart from Winnebago, Illinois in the Rally Stock Finals. The Rally Super Stock Finals crowned Zach Bull from Stowe, Ohio as the champion. And as we saw a moment ago, Alexis Rhodes from Conneaut, Ohio is the Rally Masters final winner. Jeff Hammond is with our champion.
So, how about that race? It was a pretty close race.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's all good. I don't know. I didn't get to see it much because, you know, you got to focus on what you're doing. Try not to pay attention to the other lanes. But, yeah, sure it was.
Well, it's time now to crown a Masters champion, and you can only imagine how nervous these young people are. One more run standing between them and a championship. It's Caitlin Hedges from Lancaster, Ohio, Anthony Marulli from Rochester, New York, and James Kimball from Rockford, Illinois. And Jeff, there's a good history from Rochester, New York in these events.
There sure is. They won 2 world titles back in the 50s, and now they're going for their 3rd title in a row again, 2001, 2002, and now 2003. Looks like they're a little bit ahead at the halfway point, but it's really close.
All right, this Masters Finals turned out to be one of the closest ones we've seen in a while, and who was it? I don't know. I don't think they know either. Let's take another look and see who it was that pulled it out. It was not by more than a couple of feet, if that. And there you see the Anthony Marulli fan club there cheering. They love the outcome. Jeff Hammond is with our Masters champion.
Pretty good race there, my friend. How's that feel to win?
Oh, it's awesome. It's amazing.
What always surprises me right now, I keep seeing all the competitors coming over and cheering each one of you on. I mean, is it that easy to make friends here and be close competitors at the same time?
Well, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's sometimes. Yeah, I guess. You meet a lot of people. I've met a ton of people this week. It's awesome.
All right, the champions have been crowned. The trophies have been handed out. And when we come back, we'll have a final word on the 66 All-American Soapbox Derby. Welcome back, everyone, to Akron, Ohio and Derby Downs, where the 66th running of the All-American Soapbox Derby is complete. Let's go back down once again to our reporter, Jeff Hammond, for a final thought on today's action.
Well, John, I can tell you right now, from my viewpoint, it doesn't get any better than this right here. To see young men and women coming out and competing like they're doing today, having the fun they're having, but at the same time, I saw something that is so refreshing: sportsmanship, excitement for one another, and the ability to get out, and even though you lose, to walk over and hug your competitor and feel like you've won. Truly, this is a no-lose situation. Everybody wins. Let's say that again. Everybody wins. Nobody loses here at the Soapbox Derby. It's been a great time by me, and you can guarantee you one thing. If I get an opportunity to come back next year, I'll be here.
All right, Jeff Hammond, thanks a lot. Good job. And I think Jeff enjoyed that just as much as any of the competitors. But what a great event it is to see all those kids from all over the country compete and part friends.
Oh, it's really neat. And I mean, all of us have been around here for years and years watching it, and it's really a family involvement. That's the really great thing. I mean, it was a great day, a great race, and hey, it never rains on Derby Day.
All right, it knows better than to rain and wash out this wonderful event. Well, folks, the kids arrived earlier in the week. They spent an entire week at Derby Downs in Akron, Ohio, and they saw just about every emotion you possibly could have. And it was a wonderful event. Although there were some champions crowned, everybody was a winner in some way who competed in the 66th annual All-American Soapbox Derby. For Jeff Hammond and Jeff Ayula, I'm John Roberts saying thanks for coming along for the ride.